Hello, my name is Sarah Sumbrum, and I'm the artistic director at Dance Cleveland. And today I am so excited to be joined by Janet, who is the artistic director at Martha Graham Dance Company. Janet, nice to see you.
Great to be with you, Sarah. We're looking forward to being in Cleveland.
Yes, we are so excited. We have not had the company in Cleveland for almost 20 years, which is amazing, actually.
It's crazy. I can't believe it.
I know it's been so long, but we've had the company three other times in our history of Dance Cleveland. Of course, we are celebrating our 70th season in 2026, and you're celebrating your 100th.
Yeah. I know we regularly have been at Cleveland in our past history, so it's wonderful to be returning during our 100th season.
Yes. Well, tell me, obviously, I always think of Martha Graham Company as kind of like the mother of modern dance in America, one of the very oldest companies in America in terms of modern dance. But tell me, for those who are not familiar with the company, the importance of Martha Graham and, what she has brought to the ecosystem of dance,
Mhm.
and what people should expect to see.
Right. Well, Martha Graham was a revolutionary, actually, in the late 1920s and 30s. She was breaking away from the style of dance that was sort of decorative, escapist, fantasy, swans and flowers, princesses and queens, imaginary gods and goddesses. And she wanted to make dances about real human concerns. She wanted real people to be on the stage. And this was a huge change, a huge shift in America. It was between the wars. We'd become a world power, but we had yet to define our own art forms, American art forms. So what Gershwin and Copeland were doing for American music, or the greats of American jazz, or Faulkner and Hemingway in fiction, and on and on and on, what they were doing for their art forms, Martha was doing for dance.
Yeah.
That's at the crux of it. And then, of course, 100 years later, here we are. Her influence has spread worldwide. This idea that humans should be on the stage, of course, has permeated ballet and Broadway and, all sorts of different forms of dance.
And absolutely exceptional dancers. I know I just saw the company. I was in New York this week and they looked fabulous as always.
I
Um,
do. I always want to add that our dancers are phenomenal, and audiences are always blown away when they see these 21st century athletes who are
and they
also
really are athletes, not
so
just artists,
expressive.
but athletes.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the program we're going to see in Cleveland. We tried to curate a program together that's going to be, showing the Graham works, the classic works like Appalachian Spring, Lamentation, but also some new works. So let's start with the classics.
Okay.
Tell me about the sets as well, because we are very excited to have the set design included as part of this.
Right.
But let's start with Appalachian Spring.
Well, I was thinking about this earlier today. The program we're bringing has a really great spread overview of Martha's work and these new works. It was really a pleasure to put it all together with you. We have the earliest work on the program is from 1930. It's Martha's iconic solo, Lamentation. This is the moment where she really got her arms around the idea of modernism in dance. It's very spare, it's very simple, and it's for a dance, it's so unusual. I mean, the dancer never stands up. They're seated the whole time. They're encased in a tube of fabric, so you can't see their
And I
arms and legs.
think it's incredible. Like you said, they never stand, but they're still so powerful
Mhm.
in all of their moments and movements. And even though they're sitting the entire time, you still feel that power just energized from the
Yeah.
stage.
It's really the essence of grief, and that's what Martha was trying to get her head around. Not miming grief or anything, but making a solo that really sculpturally shows you the feeling of grief. So that's, the earliest one. We're also then move on a few years to 1936. We're so happy to have the students of Case Western Reserve dancing Steps in the Street, because this is
Yes.
when Martha got into social activism. She created this work in reaction to the rise of fascism in Europe. It's the same year she turned down the Nazis' invitation to appear at the Olympic Games in Berlin. And it's a dance for all women. It's a powerful rally against oppression.
And I think, in today's world, I'm so proud that we are collaborating with Case Western Reserve University to bring this special piece. We don't often have colleges and universities as part of the program, but for Dance Cleveland, one of our earliest members, Catherine Karapides, was previously the professor at dance at Case. And, being able to kind of have this full circle moment of having Case as part of the program. And I'm so excited for the dancers to be able to set that work on them and see it as part of the program. So many reasons that
So
it
many
needed to
reasons.
happen.
So exciting for us too to have this young new generation of dancer embody the Graham style and feel how potent the physical poses that they'll be making, how potent they are in terms of social commentary and self-expression. It's really very exciting for us to have them too.
Yes. Well, that will be a special guest appearance. But let's go to our next performance that the company will be performing, which of course, Appalachian Spring. Tell me more about that.
Appalachian Spring, a few years later, 1944, of course, created by Martha and her collaborators, the composer Aaron Copland and the set designer, sculptor Isamu Noguchi. They set out to create a work about American determination, optimism, hope for the future. This was made at a time when America was very divided. There was, not everyone wanted us to be in the war. There was nationalism. There was individualism. Not individualism, sorry. There was nationalism. Excuse me. There was racism. There was a real division in the country. And Martha and her collaborators wanted to create this work. And they considered it to be their contribution to the war effort. It simply offers us scenes of a young couple on their wedding day, a husband and a bride as they settle into their new home on the frontier and consider their future together. They're joined by an itinerant preacher and his 4 followers. It's very sort of a commentary on cultism. We're not sure if the followers are in love with religion or if they're in love with the preacher. And the eighth character is the pioneering woman. She's really the spiritual center of the
Mhm.
work, the spirit of the American dream.
Yeah.
So part of Martha's revolution was she wanted to put people on the stage, and your audiences will certainly recognize themselves
Oh,
in
I'm
the
sure.
dances.
I'm sure. Well, we're going to shift gears. So I think it's amazing that, we have all these classic gram works, but again, going back to the physicality and the adaptability of the dancers, they're some of the best in the world. So you've brought in some of the best choreographers from around the world to work with them and just showcase how versatile they are.
Mhm.
So shifting gears to some of the new works that people can be expecting. We've got Cave, Hoffa Schechter, We the People by Jamar Roberts. And it's interesting because, especially We the People, going in that same idea and sense of Martha's desire to still have protest pieces and still have pieces that really speak to the human experience in America and what she thought about that.
Yeah.
Tell me about We the People and how that kind of relates.
Yeah, I like where we've put We the People on the program because it follows Appalachian Spring. And it's a work set to music by Rhiannon Giddens, who's an expert in American folk music. So it has a real traditional bluegrass sound, even though it's a new score. And the choreographer, Jamar Roberts, has said it's part protest, it's part lament, and I think it's clear that it's also part belief in people to be able to come together and make
Yeah. And
change.
I think what I love about it is, yes, it's a protest, but it's also got this real positive feeling to
Yeah,
it. It's
definitely.
very bright and positive,
I
positive.
think like Appalachian Spring, there's hope for the future woven in there.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly.
yeah. And then we're closing the program with Cave by
Which I
Hofa.
love.
It's hard not to love this dance. It's so high energy. It's so athletic. Hofesh created it for us just as we were emerging out of the pandemic. And it's kind of like a choreographed dance party.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
almost feel like you're in the club with the dancers.
yes. And he took for inspiration that basic human urge to move to the beat. And audiences, it's very infectious.
Yes.
Audiences really get into this sensation that the
The
dancers are.
energy is
Yeah,
incredible. When I first saw this piece, you feel this energy and you can see it building within the dancers themselves. And then they get to a certain point in the piece where the energy just kind of jumps out into the audience and you
yeah,
can't help but want to move too.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
that
it's
grounding beat that Hoffish sector is just incredible. So
yeah,
it's a perfect closer for the evening.
yeah.
I hope everyone leaves the theater wanting to go dance.
Absolutely. And though I said it's kind of like a choreographed dance party, the choreography is really brilliant. That build that you talk about and the geometry of the dancers in space, groups moving through each other and in counterpoint and the score was also created by Hofesh
Mm,
based on some themes by Ame, a techno group.
wow.
Yeah, so it's really a brilliant work of art.
Well, we are so excited to have the company. There's also going to be a free masterclass for folks who are in the community, ages 14 and up. We always make sure that we give the ability for our local dancers to experience working with those companies that we bring. So that will be very exciting as well. So full evening. And you'll be there as well yourself. So if
I
you want
will.
to hear more, we will have a pre-show chat at 6:45 in the theater with Janet. And we'll also have a post-show Q&A for those who would like to ask the dancers questions too. So
Yeah, see, it's the full menu.
full menu. Well, thank you for being with us, Janet. I appreciate it. We are looking so forward to it. And we will see you soon.
We are looking forward to it too. We'll see you there.
See you
Thanks so much,
then.
Sarah.
Bye bye.